Alright guys, it is July 12th. Just was out checking some trail cameras yesterday, saw some mushrooms out, and had a Facebook memory pop up showing I had found mushrooms a couple years ago. So what the heck, figured I'd come out and give it a shot, drag you guys along, see if you like it or not. There are some bugs out today. Bugs typically aren't a big deal for me. They don't bother me at all, but I'm gonna try something different. I brought some spearmint I pulled out of the garden. I'm just gonna crush it up and rub it all over me and see if it works. At least I'll smell good. So we'll see. We'll just break it up, pull the leaves off, rub it all over me. Oh, it smells amazing. Probably got green stuff all over me. Could have brought the thermocell, but that's just kind of a pain. I'm not saying it's working, but I don't see all the little gnats that were all around my face a minute or so ago. So all right, good enough. All right, we'll see what happens. I mean, I didn't get 20 feet from the truck and there's mushrooms everywhere. Not the ones I'm looking for. But they're everywhere. Oh, check out this little dude. Alright, so mostly I'm looking for Black Trumpet mushrooms or Horn of Plenty. You know, they grow in the same spot roughly every year. But they are extremely hard to find. And my normal spot, it does have some, and it should be right about in here. And I already know they're there because, you know, they're always there. But if you don't know they're there, you'd never see them. You'd walk right by them. And I'm just going to try to bring you straight to them here. They don't look like something you'd really want to eat, but I'm telling you, they're probably one of my favorite mushrooms. And typically Black Trumpet or Horn of Plenty, so they grow a lot typically. So yeah, they're definitely popping. Ooh, I do see a couple more. I do see a couple more. We got these ones right here. And the spearmint's helping, but the bugs are still getting to me. Just have to watch where I'm walking because I'll step on them. Like these ones right here, I didn't even see that one technically. Oh yeah, there's one right there. There's a little patch. These things, they typically like to be around like oak trees, hardwood trees. Usually July, August, September. I mean, I still find them a little bit later than that. It all depends on the weather. And that's about all I see for now, so I'm gonna start picking. I'll put you guys on hold. So typically, the way I like to do this is I have this little mesh bag here, and this is going to be hard to do. Little mesh bag. I don't even know where I got it. I just take a knife. You could just rip them out and clean them, but it makes it a pain later once you rip them. And just snip them off at the bottom. And there you go. These are a little dirty. It rained yesterday and it poured Friday night, so they probably were up already and got some dirt on them. That's all right. I'll just have to clean them off when I get home, and then I drop them in the bag, move on to the next ones. Which, I mean, they're actually, once you start looking, they are everywhere. I'm gonna try to get this thing. There's a couple growing. I'm not even gonna mess with these, just they're too little. Like there's one here. There's one, a couple little ones here. Like I said, they're just super hard to see is all. There's one. There's a couple little, I'll grab that big one. You know what, I'll grab it right now. Yoink. Oh yeah, and here's some really super small ones. Ooh, I saw another little buddy here. Look at that little guy. He ain't too happy. There's still a pile of them everywhere. There's one. There's one, looks like it's old, it fell over. There's one right there. Watch my steps, because I know I'm going to be stepping on it. There's two right there. There's a little itty bitty one starting down there. There's one hiding under that leaf. There's some there. I mean, they're everywhere once you start looking for them. They're just hard to see. There's some old ones there. There's an old one, it's all busted. There's an old one, it's all like dead and rotten now. There's one, there's one, there's one. Ooh, there's a big one here. Ooh, there's a couple. There's one, there's one, there's one. There's a nice one. I gotta remember to get that one. They're all over. There's one, I don't even know if I got that one. Look at this little guy. There's another one, different one. We'll leave him alone because he didn't start running yet. Alright, I'll put you back on time lapse while I pick these. That's good enough for this patch. I can't tell if those are leaves or if those are mushrooms. I might have to go check them. On to the next patch. They were just old leaves. These old oak leaves, they get me every time. Like those ones. Those ones. You know, for a split second they're the same color as the mushroom I'm looking for, so gets me every time. Never hurts to double check though. Actually, before I leave a spot, I'll huck you in here one more time, because look, there's another guy. They're everywhere. There's an old mushroom there. I don't even know what that is. So the first spot I found those ones is over here by around about that dead trees, how I remember it. And Usually they're all over here. But the other spot is literally just right across to here. There's some. There's one there. There's one there. The rain we had last night, everything's wet and it's making them really hard to see. There's some coral mushroom. Alright, there's always mushrooms around this tree. Always, and right there's one. There's a little one poking up there. Oh yeah, now that I'm looking, whoops, hold on, let me tilt you. There's one. There's one. Ooh, there's two real nice ones under there. Bunch of little ones. I mean, there's a pile under here. I mean, everywhere. You just have to really, you have to like train your eyes to find them. Yep, there's one right there. There's some. There's some old ones there. It's actually easier for me to see them from farther away than close. Here's a nice little patch. Little, like couple, but I'm not really gonna mess with any of these. They're too small to mess with, but all right, I'm gonna get to picking some of these and I'll be back with you. From just a little patch behind me, I got a couple. Nothing too crazy. I'll show you what I got from just that little patch there. So like I said, not a lot, but I usually just, the higher up you can cut them, the better. You know, less dirt. That's always something. The less dirt you bring home, the easier they are to clean, and some mushrooms don't like water, so they'll get soggy. These ones I haven't found that they don't like water. You know, I just rinse them off real quick, and then like I said, I dehydrate them, so they're normally good. All right, on to the next spot. All right, coming up to my next spot. This is the first spot I've ever found trumpets, just right off of this old gas well road. And let's see, there should be some here, being that the other spots there was some. Oh yeah. Yep, just they're hard to see. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's two. Ooh, there's some hiding under that. There's a couple over there. Yeah. All right. I'll keep looking and start picking. Alright, that was quick. That was only a couple minutes, but we'll show you what we got. Nothing crazy, you know, just a little bit. And just because somebody's bound to say it, like I said, these things are called horn of plenty because they typically grow in clusters and piles. So, you know, that one's done, like it's already let the spores out, and so it's good. I don't want anybody saying I'm harvesting them all and not going to be any more. There's one I left, that one. There's a bunch of little small ones there, leaving them go to grow. Small one there, one there. I lied. So that one I'm going to take. I missed that one. Nope, I lied. It's soft. But there's one. I mean, I'm leaving some. I'm not taking every single one, but I don't think these ones, it would hurt that bad if you did take them all. I'm not telling you to. I always like to leave, you know, leave some for future harvests. All right, off to the next spot. All right, to the next spot, which is 60 feet maybe up the trail. These ones are already kind of done. These ones are all old and dead, kind of. But there are some in here still that I can pick some, or at least good pieces. And look at this mamma jamma. This thing, look at that. Wow. You can tell they're getting old because they're kind of like breaking. But these things, I mean, as long as they're not soft and mushy or moldy, they're good. All right, so I'm on my way to my last spot. Checking out some other spots, you know, just always keeping the eyes open. And then I see, and you probably can't see, whoops, there is a whole bunch. Come on, it's fighting me. I'm looking in reverse here. Anyway, there's a bunch in here, a bunch of good looking ones. Ooh, yeah, there's quite a few little patches in here. They're hard to see, but once you see them, you have to like get down low, and then you can kind of see, like, there's somewhere. There's some out here, some over here. Yeah. Heck yeah. Try to do this without stepping on any of them. There's some. There's some. There's some. These are all nice ones. They're pretty dry. All right, perfect. Alright, so I got to my last spot, and there's a couple here, so I'm going to show them to you real quick without stepping on any. Not as many as I'd hope, but there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. That rain we had the other night kind of washed a bunch of these out. There is a bunch here now that I'm getting close to the ground and looking. But like I said, the rain kind of really messed them up. There's some old ones in here. Typically rain's good for mushrooms, but the rain we had the other night was, I mean, it was an absolute washout. Yeah, so now that I'm actually getting close and looking, there's quite a few here. So I'll get you put on time lapse and start picking. Alright, let's see how we did. Not super great. There's a pile more, but I just left them because they're not really nice looking. And like I said, they got wet, really wet, so they're kind of a little mushy. But this is good though. That means, ooh, I did miss one. Hold on. I missed that one. Like I said, most of these are pretty mushy, so dang it. I was able to just pull this one where the mushiness was and keep it pretty clean. So I'll get them bagged up and head back towards the truck. Alright, I made it back to the truck. Got a nice little haul here. You know, not too many, but when I dehydrate them, they're gonna dehydrate to dang near nothing, so it is what it is.